Have you ever wondered why we react the way we do to certain situations? Is it our true self or something else? Perhaps you've heard of the term ego tossed around in conversations. But what exactly is the ego and what role does it play in our lives? Well, the ego is like a GPS for our mind. It's not inherently good or bad. It's simply a tool that helps us navigate through the world. It's shaped by our experiences, our beliefs, our fears, and our desires. It's the ego that determines our reactions to the world around us, coloring our perceptions and shaping our reality. For instance, if we've been hurt in the past, our ego might make us more defensive in similar situations to protect us from experiencing that pain again. It's the ego that pushes us to strive for success, to seek acceptance, and to avoid rejection. It's always working, always influencing. So, if our ego is just a tool, then what shapes this tool? Imagine the ego as a computer program, but who's the programmer? That's right, we are. Our ego, this intricate program, is birthed from the womb of our experiences, especially the traumatic ones. Picture a child scared and alone, learning to navigate through the world. Every experience, every interaction, every trauma encountered gets encoded into this program. This program, our ego, then becomes our guide, our protector. It's like a personal GPS, guiding us through the labyrinth of life, based on the coordinates set by our past experiences. When we encounter similar situations, our ego pulls out these old maps and navigates us through, often with the sole intention of avoiding pain and seeking safety. So our ego is a protective program created by us, for us, in response to our experiences. But here's the million-dollar question. Can we change this program? If we programmed our ego, can we reprogram it? This question leads us to the concept of working with the ego rather than against it. You see, the ego isn't an enemy to be defeated. It's a part of us, a part that has been shaped by our experiences, our traumas. It's a product of our fears, hopes, and dreams. So, instead of trying to suppress it or fight it, let's learn to understand it. Let's delve deep into our reactions, our perceptions, and the very core of our being. Let's acknowledge our ego, not as a separate entity, but as an integral part of our identity. When we understand and acknowledge our ego, we can begin to change our reactions and perceptions. We can modify the way we view the world and ourselves. We can reprogram the ego, altering the way it responds, the way it protects us. By working with our ego, we can change the program and create a more mindful and understanding self. Our ego has been with us since our first traumatic experience, but have we ever thanked it? It's a question worth pondering, isn't it? The ego, often seen as the villain in our life's narrative, is actually a protector, a guardian of our emotional well-being. It's high time we extend our gratitude to this misunderstood part of ourselves. Gratitude towards our ego is not just about saying thanks. It's about acknowledging its role and appreciating its effort in trying to shield us from emotional pain. It's about recognizing that our ego is not our adversary, but a part of us that's doing its best with the information we've provided it. When we start to appreciate our ego, we open a doorway to using it positively. We can guide it, work with it, molding it into a tool for self-improvement rather than self-sabotage. Gratitude becomes a bridge, a way to transform our relationship with our ego. So, the ego isn't our enemy, but a part of us that we can learn to understand, appreciate, and work with to create a more mindful life.